Okay, today we're going to use proportions and ratios. So first of all, what is a ratio? Well, a ratio is any fraction, a decimal, or something we compare. Okay? So when we're looking at ratios, we're basically looking at a type of representation for two numbers to be compared. The most common ones we're going to use here is the fraction part. Okay? Now the next thing is proportion. Now a proportion is when you have two fractions that are equal to each other. Now in order to make sure that these are equal to each other, we have to use the cross product. So we have to say 2 times 6 and 3 times 4. Now the reason I'm not putting an equal sign in between is because we need to see if this is actually working. We actually have to do the math on this part. So 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12. They are indeed equal, so this is a proportion. Okay, so let's do another example of that. If I have 3/5 and 9/10, is this a proportion? Take a minute, do the math. Okay, so to do this math, you want to cross multiply. Okay, so 3 times 10 and 5 times 9. 3 times 10 is 30, 5 times 9 is 45. They are not equal. This is not proportional. Okay? So a lot of times when we're dealing with these types of problems, we're going to have a missing value that we have to find, okay? So what we'll be looking at is something like okay? So we're looking at something like this. We have to cross multiply, then divide, okay? So what we are going to do is we're going to multiply across here like this. So we're going to say 100x equals 25 times 30, okay? 25 times 30, it looks big, but really it's not. 30 is just 3 with a 0 at the end. So multiply 3 times 25, that's 75, and then add a 0 at the end. So you're looking at 750, okay? And that equals 100x. Okay? At this point, I need x by itself, so we're going to go ahead and divide by 100. What that does, I don't even need a calculator, folks. All that does is it moves my decimal 2 places to the left. Okay? So I am looking at an x of 7.5. Okay? Alright, so that's how you do the cross multiply and divide. Alright, and you're going to run into that with your units in this next section. Okay? So that's proportions. Next we're going to look at is changing units. Okay? Changing units is something you do in science. And it's something that's important to know how to do. And the best way that I know how to do the types of unit changes that we'll be doing is by setting them up in proportions, okay? So say I have 30 days, okay? Say I have 30 days, but I want to know how many minutes. Okay? So I want to know how many minutes is 30 days. Well, if I know my conversions, I can do it, right? There are 24 hours in one day. Okay? And there is 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay? Now my goal is to get to minutes, and I'm starting with days. All right? So I can set this up. 30 days times 24 hours per day times 60 minutes per hour. That will give me minutes in my answer. And you might go, well, Ms. Kaiser, how can that be? Well, with any ratio, any multiplication that deals with fractions, anything I have on the top that's the same as anything on the bottom, I can cancel them out. So days we consider as over 1. There's a day down here. Those cancel. Okay? There's an hours here, hour here, cancel. What's left? Minutes. Okay? So when you look at doing this problem now, all you have to do is multiply 30 times 24 times 60. Okay? So when we do that math, I'm going to do it the way I do it without a calculator. 180, actually 1800 times 24. Okay? So you guys, if you have a calculator close by, you can do it with your calculator. I'm just going to do it the long way. That's right. Brain stopped for a moment. Okay, so I am looking at 48,300 minutes for my conversion. Okay, so give that a moment. Think about that.